Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. For those of you who don't know, we are the Monsons. So today we thought we would sit down and have some Indian food. Here we have naan bread right here, jasmine rice, chicken curry, vegetable samosas, and a mango lassi, I think is how you pronounce it. So backstory to the reason why we're eating Indian food. I actually have an uncle who is from Indonesia, and growing up we would have rendang, I think is how you pronounce it, which that stuff is amazing. Curry is another thing that we would have, and just all these foods. Sofia's right beneath us.
She's eating her cookie.
And she's already getting herself into trouble, so we're just gonna go ahead and fix her little situation up. I think Zach's only had it twice. Or once, right? You've only had it once?
I think so.
That you can remember? But he doesn't even remember what it tastes like. We gotta keep Sophia occupied with snacks. He doesn't remember what it tastes like, so we're gonna give it a try today. I'm pretty excited to have him try it and just see what he thinks. We have my water here, and Zach has his traditional
Dr. Pepper.
We thought that today we'd sit down and we'd talk a little bit about our parenting in the past year. It's a lot, we get a lot of questions about it, and it's kind of weird just because like we're first time parents, so we really don't know what we're doing.
Nope.
But we have learned a lot, so I thought we just would share with you guys what we've learned. Sophia's like watching us.
She's like, yeah, I've been eating. Kind of tastes like an empanada.
Yeah, it does kind of taste like an empanada. That's weird. Come here, Mama.
I just feel these tiny hands on my leg.
You want to come join us? Eat some food? Say hi! Let's go ahead and get started on talking about our topic. The reason why I thought, like the initial thought came to me about talking about this is because a lady in our church came up to me and asked me, she was like, does your daughter sleep through the night? And I was just like, yeah, she does. And then she's like, what? You're telling me that like your firstborn daughter is sleeping through the night? And I'm like, yeah, why? And she's like, how did you even know how to do that? You know? And so then like, the answer I always give people, which I think is kind of a lie, don't you think, is we tell people, oh, we just got lucky.
Yep.
We tell everybody that asked us, like, what? How does your daughter sleep through the night? We always say,
She's
oh,
lucky.
Yeah, we just got lucky. If I have said that to you, I am sorry, because it is a lie, and our families know that it's a lie, because ever since Sofia was only a couple weeks old to about like 3 or 4 months old, she hated sleeping, right? She would wake up every 2 hours at night screaming, wanting to eat, and that just was till she was like 4 months old.
Yeah.
She's like, what are you guys talking about?
So you're talking crap on me.
Yeah. And she would hate taking naps. Like, she just wouldn't. If I would even be able to get her to take a nap, it would be about like 15 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Max.
Exactly. And that's all I could. And our family used to kind of like laugh because we would have such a hard time with her that they'd just be like, it's okay, you know, like she's just a baby. One thing that I learned from being the oldest, and just like from preparing myself before I had kids, that the first year of their life is very crucial. That's where like they basically learn the basics to everything, right? And so I took it upon myself pretty much, just because Zach had work and school, to help Sofia to learn how to sleep. And it became like we were being very strict with how we were teaching her to sleep.
The whole environment of our bedroom, because she sleeps with us. First we were in her parents' house in a huge 1-bedroom room.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much, it was everything. We had everything in there, and she was in there with us. And from the beginning, we had a noise machine, we had humidifiers, we had everything. And to me, I love sleeping in the pitch black. Like, I can't have a light on to sleep. But when she came, we started having night lights, and that took a while for me to get used to. And now she's older, so we don't have a night light in the bedroom right now, which is awesome. I love it. I miss sleeping in the pitch black, which I feel like she's kind of the same way too.
Yeah.
Like she needs to have it dark.
And the nightlight was pretty much just so like we could feed her and we could change her diaper. So those things aren't really necessary anymore because she's sleeping through the night.
We don't need to wake up and feed or change her diaper, because we change her diaper when she goes to sleep and then in the morning.
Yeah. And I mean, like, we didn't really like sleep train Sophia. We didn't like leave her in the bedroom and let her cry for an hour and then wait for her to eventually fall asleep.
Like, we didn't really sleep train her, but we did let her cry for 20 minutes, because that's usually how long it takes. She's crying, 20 minutes later, she falls over and is asleep.
Yeah, but if she would cry like really badly to the point where like I could see that she really was like not okay, I would always go in.
Yeah.
Or I would, because we're in the same room, so I'm just talking about like nap times.
You would just go over.
I'd always go over to the crib and like try to calm her down in the crib. That's the thing that like I think you have to understand, is that like babies go through stages, and or they're either sick or they're teething or they go through like all these things to where like it kind of throws them off on their sleep. So like we would go like every 3 months is when it would feel like we would have to teach her how to eat, how to sleep, how to do all these things, you know, once again. And it is a process. Like we still get up with Sophia sometimes because she's either sick or she's teething, you know, and having a rough night. And she will cry a little bit. Like, don't be afraid to let your kids cry, right? Like I don't get nervous when I see her cry unless I see that like she's about to throw up, or I don't know, like anything like that, you know?
But we let her cry longer and longer each time.
Mm-hmm. And that brings me to my other point, is like, don't stress out. That was like the biggest lesson. Yes. That was like the biggest lesson that Zach's mom taught me in 2018 is don't let things stress you out, you know? And obviously like things still come into my life that stress me out and get to me, but is always like reminding myself, you know, to like not make it such a big deal and just understand that things are going to be hard sometimes, but to keep moving forward. And with Sophia, like that was the thing, you know, as first-time parents, you stress out a lot and you get very anxious to even leave the house because you're like, well, what if she starts crying? What if she like, all these things, you know? And
What
like,
if she blows out? What if she poops? What if all that stuff?
yeah. And it just comes down to the point that like, if she's gonna cry, she's gonna cry. And like, I know in the moment you feel so alone because your baby might be the only baby crying in the restaurant and people are looking around trying to have a good time. But like, you have to think that there's so many parents in that restaurant that I'm sure are just thinking, thinking of the experiences they went through too. And if people are judging you, then people are gonna judge. But it's like, you're making the effort to enjoy yourself as you're with your family. And that's okay. That's really what matters, is just the memories that you're building with your family. So my advice to first-time parents, and even advice that I hope we can look back on with future kids or even Sophia, because she does have her moments at restaurants, is to just like relax. Because if you're relaxed, then they'll be able to react better.
And that's something that we've learned a lot too, is when you see a kid fall, most of your reactions like, oh, I hope they don't get hurt, so everybody's freaking out.
Everybody's like,
It's us as parents, we control the environment. If we freak out, our kids are going to get more freaked out because we're freaked out. You know, and it's kind of like an example that I used to do when she was really little. I remember, well, I still do it sometimes, is when it would be nighttime and then she's supposed to be sleeping, what I would do is I'd close my eyes and I would just kind of sit there and, you know, kind of fall asleep, you know. And she'd just sit there and watch me, and I kind of open my eyes once in a while, you know, not all the way, you know, just kind of open them like I was squinting to see if she was awake or sleeping, and she'd just stare at me. But give her like 2-3 minutes, then her eyes started to get heavy, and then she passed out.
Yeah.
You know, because she felt that kind of relaxed feeling from me, you know, like, oh, okay, my dad's sleeping, so I should be able to sleep now too. You know, so it really is all about the environment that you bring your kids into.
That is so true. We've seen that in like our close relationships, you know, is that like if kids grow up in bad environments, then like they adapt to those environments. Yeah. And it is sad. It is sad to see. But one thing that I learned from Zach in just this year of parenting is just like,
that is good.
That's way good,
That's way
huh?
good.
Yeah, that stuff is my favorite. Zach has had his moments where like maybe he loses his patience, but Zach, with everything scary or bad that happens in life, like you'll never see Zach freak out. Zach is just not the type to be like, oh my gosh, like what are we gonna do? Like the world's coming to an end and all those things. Like, yes, things will shock him, and then like he'll feel like concerned and like worried, but like he keeps his calm in those times because he thinks like, okay, exactly like what he said, if I react negatively to this, I'm making the situation even worse, you know. So like that's with everything with your kids, because things are gonna go wrong. Like we've told you guys about Sofia's cough and how that's a concern right now, because I mean it's been 6 months that she's had this cough that doesn't go away, and we're trying to figure things out. So that is one thing that you have taught me, and I really do appreciate of your example.
No, one thing I've learned as well, really, this year, other than that, kind of you have to set the environment, is that really you should try to have a schedule, you know. Not gonna lie, to me, I was kind of like, okay, we don't go to sleep at the same time each night, it's okay. But Amy was really like, no, we have to do this, we have to do this, we need to make sure that she is comfortable, that she knows what's coming next. And that's something that she's done really good at, is that having that schedule, you know. Like now, the schedule changes, it varies every now and then. But for the most part, Sofia knows around 8 o'clock, we're going to start getting her to bed. And at that time, she knows that it's time to kind of relax, chill out, and get ready for bed. And that's something that she's done really good at. That at the beginning, I was kind of like, why? Why do we need to do that? Why can't we do this? Why can't we stay out late? Why can't we do all these things? That has really helped Sofia in being the great sleeper that she is now.
I love you. And thank you for noticing my efforts. I do think that that was one big like concern of yours, but like one thing that I would always tell Zach is that like this is just a season. Like this is only going to be for so long, and then things are gonna be so much easier. Like when our kids are in elementary, it's gonna be so much fun to stay up as late as we want to. So yeah, it was very hard for the both of us because we didn't really get to spend a lot of time together. But that's changing now. Like now we do have a lot more date nights. Is she okay?
Yeah. Might need some more cookie. Num cookie.
And now like Sofia, like pretty much by herself, goes to bed at 9 o'clock. Like she takes her own bath. I'm kidding. We still give her a bath and we just put her in her crib and she falls asleep 5 minutes later. Thought my joke was funny. And then by 9 o'clock to like 11 o'clock, like that's time for us. And that's what I want to tell first time parents is it's going to be so hard. Like I don't sugarcoat it, and I do with like general people. I tell them like, yeah, we got so lucky and we love her and we've enjoyed her, but it's all about like teaching and guiding your kids, you know? So just understand that like the beginning is going to be hard. but that doesn't mean that it's always going to be that way. Like, your kids are going to grow up and pretty much to the point where they can take care of themselves. And then you're going to look back at this time and you're really going to miss when you could bathe your kids and put them to bed and hold them in your arms. And that's one thing that I want us to always remember with our future kids, and what I want first-time parents to remember is cherish those very moments. Don't get so caught up in how hard it is. Like, when you're in those hard moments, just have that thought come back to you and tell yourself, like, for some reason in the future, I am going to miss these moments. So I should probably be trying to enjoy these moments as much as I can. And that's pretty much it. I really love this food. It was delicious. Did you like it?
I liked it.
I liked it too. This rice wasn't just like any jasmine rice. This is delicious. We'll go ahead and close today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to join the movement by subscribing and following us along on our journey. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Say bye. Bye-bye.
She always laughs. She's never done this.
Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye, Mama. Okay, bye-bye, Sofia. Bye-bye. I'll take your cookie away.